Hey, welcome in everybody. It is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot and Astro Insights, and we are going to talk today about the full moon in Leo because there is going to be a lot of unpredictability over the coming days, and this full moon in Leo is overcoming personal and societal expectations and prejudices. And so how can you take a step back in these very intense energies and reflect upon your own flawed behaviors? We all have flaws. We all have hangups. And ultimately, when we reflect on these flaws and we dig deep into this shadow integration work that we are being called to do, then we will grow into the most authentic, best version of ourselves and who we came here to be. And so because this full moon in Leo is tightly square to Uranus in Taurus, this is creating an intensity to the energies. There is a lot of prideful, dramatic Leo energies at play. And this is kind of going up against the unpredictable, stubborn energy of Uranus in Taurus. And so my dreams lately have been super vivid, super loud. And I had a dream about a bull going head to head with a lion. And so this is interesting because I'm a Taurus sun sign and I am a North Node in Leo. And when this full moon takes place in my local area of the world, the ascendant is going to be in Pisces and the 12th house is going to be in Aquarius. And I am a Pisces rising and 12th house Aquarius. And so this moon is bringing forward a lot of challenging revelations for me about the path moving forward. And so the pride of Leo, I think of the lion's pride, is going to be challenged, I feel, when it comes to sudden shifts. You might have a shift in beliefs, a shift in values. There are going to be unexpected revelations without a doubt, and there is going to be shocking disruptions, and that is due to the fact of the square of Uranus in Taurus. And so it might feel like you're wrestling with your ego and all of these prejudices in your life. And so this is the full moon, guys, where we have to confront everything. We're going to have to confront our own assumptions. And I know the book club for the book of the month, we are reading the 4 agreements. And one of the 4 agreements is don't make assumptions. But anyway, we are going to have to adapt to whatever surprising, disruptive revelations come forward, because the outcome is going to lead us towards the best version of who we are. And so if you think of a bull and a lion in a fight, let me know down in the comments, who do you think will win? Because I've got both of those energies in my chart very loudly at play here. And so it's kind of hard to say who would actually win the fight, right? Because they both hold fierceness to them. They're both fierce opponents at play. And so you think of the bull. Trust me, I've got horns when you trigger that shadow side of that bull. The bull has a size advantage in opposition to the lion, and the lion has speed and sharp claws, and it is a very predatory animal with instincts when it comes to fighting. And so there is a balancing act between the inner bull and getting those horns out and the inner lion. We all have these energies at play somewhere in our birth chart. If you would like to go a little bit further and understand how these transits, how this full moon could play out for you personally in your life, feel free to book in for a transit chart reading. There will be a link below to book in through the website, but there is a balancing act, right? We've also got the Sun and Mercury in Aquarius bringing this much needed dose of reality. And so we kind of have to be objective. We have to have a certain level-headedness to us in these energies. And we do need to pause and reflect. When we pause and reflect, that is when personal growth naturally happens and we can emerge stronger, wiser, and in that better version of who we are. And so the key, I think, in these energies lies in really understanding what triggers us, right? I've done a lot of work on my triggers. I know collectively there are a lot of triggers coming up. What makes your inner bull see red? And so I was shown the color red flags, right? Usually I charge headfirst into those red flags in relationships. But really sit back and ask yourself, what really triggers you in these energies, right? And when I think of seeing red, the universe brought me to the revelation of the movie Red. I think it is, it's a Disney movie. It's a kids movie. And the red panda, if you know, you know. Anyway, when we get triggered and we explode, we don't explode by chance, right? And there's going to be tempers flaring. There's going to be a deeper reason that needs to be looked at when it comes to why we explode beneath the surface, right? There's always little triggers. And when people see red and we see red, it's because deep down inside we're angry because we know we're not being respected, or we feel like we're being threatened, or maybe we feel like we've been dismissed, right? And so look at those triggers, because ultimately the full moon in Leo is opposite Aquarius, the sun in Aquarius. And oftentimes these two energies can feel like me versus the world. And so the moon is really going to highlight where we feel like a very wounded, unappreciated child craving validation. And you know what it's like to be a tantruming child. You want that validation and you want that attention at all costs, even if it's negatively. And so when we act out with these tantrum-like behaviors of the Leo moon qualities, this is coming from a deep-seated trigger, likely from childhood, where we feel like we can't be accepted for who we truly are. And so when our light is dimmed intentionally for no reason other than maybe somebody else's insecurities, that's saying, hey, I can't shine. And so this is really going to be highlighted, I feel, under the full moon in Leo. And so the sun in the Aquarius, sun in Aquarius, on the other hand, is basically the grown-up energy, right? It's the grown-up energy that we got to tick off all those boxes in life. It can feel a little bit alienated. It can feel a little bit disconnected. Aquarius is a very disconnected air sign at times, and oftentimes we can lose our spark. And so because I'm a North Node in Leo, South Node in Aquarius, there is an oppositional energy at play here because I'm a North Node, South Node at 26 degrees. And so these energies are very tightly conjunct and opposite my North and South Node. And so there is an opposition with all full moons. And the Leo Aquarius axis is about reflecting on the dynamic between our authentic selves and what is expected of us connected to societal standards, right? And so that's the energy of the authentic self of Leo and the societal expectations of Aquarius. And so my mother is also an Aquarius, so I'll just leave it at that. But we do need to understand we are at the core autonomous beings, and we are shaped by a lot of external forces as well, I feel. And so if you have found if you find yourself in a cycle where maybe you have lost yourself, or you feel like you've lost your way and you've kind of put yourself into a box, because that square energy with Uranus is like you're in this box and I got to break out of this box of what others expect me to be. And so with Uranus at play in Taurus, there's going to be a lot of energies, a lot of people acting out. We're going to reach some type of point of existential crisis in a certain area of our birth chart. And we are human. We are human. We all struggle, right? And Uranus in Taurus is illuminating that struggle. And so we're kind of at the apex of the T-square. We're at that pressure cooker point where something's going to blow when it comes to repressed, built up tension or anger that finally needs to be released. And so I do feel the fixed signs are going to be deeply affected, most affected. So pay attention if you have Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius in any of your big three, your sun, your moon, your rising, perhaps even your Venus or your Mars. And then if you have a North or South Node in either of those signs, or your rising and your seventh house, these energies are going to be intense. We can't deny it. And so we got to strip back everything and peel back all of the layers like an onion until we get to the core of who we truly are. And so Uranus is here to remind us that deep down inside, we truly are kings and queens, because I kept hearing that song, if all of the kings had their queens on the throne. And so we truly are the kings and queens of our own castle. And so really focus on your own personal autonomy when it comes to these energies. Uranus and Taurus, I gotta say, ultimate rebellion. Ultimate rebellion energy. I'm telling you, I will go against anything that is not aligned with my authentic self now that I have embraced sovereignty and the spiritual awakening path. And so freedom is not about detaching from people or possessions. It really is about being just deeply and profoundly connected to who you are at the soul level, and then releasing anything that you can no longer tolerate, that doesn't honor who you truly are in your life. And so there's going to be a huge relief if you are so far away from your soul's truth. And let me tell you, the farther away from your soul's truth that you are, the more predictable and the more volatile these energies and these reactions and emotions are going to become over the coming days. And so sometimes we do need that very dramatic force or that tower energy, which I do feel is connected to the Mars retrograde, in order to fully break free from whatever heavy chains or burdens have held you back from your most authentic self. And so we are being asked to release outdated attachments, and these could be people, this could be jobs, this could be belief patterns, these could be addictions. We have to release these old, outdated attachments. And so this Leo full moon is coming in loud. We're going to deal with triggers. We're going to have to understand the why. We're going to have to examine, why does this same trigger keep coming up? And why do I let, say, this person or that energy keep triggering the same thing? The triggers are there to show you where the wound exists so you can transcend those limitations connected to the triggers and the wounding. And so what makes you see red? I'll tell you what makes my blood boil: injustice. Injustice is what really makes my blood boil, especially when it comes to the imbalances within all relationship structures within the collective. And so whatever triggers you, whatever makes you see red, is going to reveal about you all of your struggles. And this is where you've got to question your personal identity and your purpose. And so what needs to happen over the coming days in order to realign yourself to your deepest values and your deepest truth? So we are going to pull in with some cards. We're going to see what other energies need to come through. So keep in mind, guys, if you would like to book in for a tarot reading or a birth chart reading or a transit chart reading, there is going to be a link below in the description box. I also do want to mention there is a membership side to the channel where every Thursday I do go live Eastern Standard Time at noon, and I do pull into all 12 zodiac signs. It's a fun, interactive place. You get to interact with me live on the membership side. So if you'd like to join us, head on over to the other side, because for less than a cup of coffee a month, you can be a channel member. Let's get at it. Lightworker, and find your tribe. And so this is the illumination of just how powerful we all are as light workers. We are all capable of shining that Leo light, that healing light onto humanity. And so I do feel there is going to be a breakdown of false social groups, false relationships. And so if you are in a romantic partnership and it's not aligned to contributing to your soul's growth, there's going to be a revelation. There's going to be a breakdown. There's going to be a breakdown of friendships that deplete you, that keep you stagnant. And so there is an awakening, I feel, in the energies over the coming days. So let's get some cards out. Look at that. We got a little bit of a fallout here. So there could be a fallout over the coming days, but this is all going to be activating and connected to your spiritual path. We all have a greater purpose. We all came here to explore and embrace the journey to our higher self. So you need to understand whatever is happening, whatever is breaking down, whatever is triggering you, you are protected by the angels. And so pray to the archangels, pray to a higher power. Give yourself that strength that you need to create those energetic and emotional boundaries. Physical boundaries might even be needed and necessary at this time. We get the Living Consciously card, deepening relationship to self, channeling. So we all actually have the ability to connect with our spirit guides, to connect with spirit, and connect with our angels, to convey messages from the spirit world. We just have to achieve that by quieting the mind, and which is also why I'm such an advocate for daily meditation practices. And so we came here to learn our soul's language. ultimately, the path to self is the path to deepening this relationship to who we are. And in order to fully jump timelines and live life consciously, we do have to make decisions that will benefit us, that will benefit those connected to us in our lives. And so life can keep happening to you if you choose that timeline, or life can happen for you in order to understand the unconscious pattern so you can begin to make conscious choices for the betterment. And so really reflect on what motivates you. Is it anger? Is it rage? Is it peace? Is it tranquility? What is motivating you in these very intense energies? Ask yourself, what is going to bring you joy? Because the art of self-love is a spiraling path. But we do have to be open to receiving the lesson at hand. And maybe there's something here that you need to let go of. Maybe it's a negative mindset. Maybe you are really deeply rooted in unconscious patterns where you have this tendency of turning towards negative self-talk. And if that's the case, this will limit yourself every single time. This will keep you stuck. This will keep you depleted. This will keep you stagnant. And so maybe you need to release a negative mindset here. I do feel there is a need to release control. Release that tight grip on whatever it is that you've been holding on to, whether it's a person, a path, a belief pattern, and really take that time to go within over the coming days, because quiet introspection really is the pathway to deepening that relationship to yourself. Okay, and then we get sharing below that with practicing unconditional love. And practicing unconditional love really is showing yourself that love that you crave and that validation that you crave from external people, places, and things. And so when we promote self-love, when we deepen this relationship to ourselves, that will promote healthier relationship cycles in all of our friendships and all of our romantic partnerships, and even our family issues can kind of be healed when we promote self-love in our lives. And when we show ourselves love, that also shows others how we want to be treated. And so if you find yourself criticizing somebody or being criticized by somebody, this is all a reflection of what needs to be healed. And so there are going to be triggers here that need to be worked through. And so spend that time in quiet introspection. Let's dig in with the cards. Actually, I'm going to grab this deck here, the Angel Wisdom Tarot deck, and let's pull in with a 9-card spread. And let's see what the universe has in store for a message today. What do you got for us, Spirit? What do you got for us when it comes to these full moon energies that are quite emotionally charged? What do you got? Let's get 9 cards out and let's see what the universe has to say. 10 of Wands in reversed. First card out, we're kicking off the reading with releasing a long-standing burden. So what have you been carrying that's too heavy that you can't carry anymore? It's time to release maybe a situation with somebody that is overly critical. The Queen of Swords in reversed can be very bitter, very angry. This is somebody that's been hurt, that is lashing out. There could be slander, there could be lies, there could be somebody here that is just so focused on hurting somebody that they can't see that them hurting somebody is a reflection of their own pain. Oh my goodness. Queen of Cups in reverse. So we get air, we get water. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's time to release a burden. There is somebody here that I feel is codependent, is using their words to try to manipulate a situation. There is a very difficult situation here that is needing to be released. So if you find yourself embodying the qualities of this feminine in reversed, take a step back. Anger and bitterness usually comes from a place of self-sacrificing for far too long. So work through that sacred rage. I do feel sacred rage is coming up to be released because I cut my finger doing the dishes, and I stabbed my finger pretty good. And so the middle finger is connected to anger and rage. And so collectively, I do think there's a lot of anger and rage connected to inequality, connected to the imbalances within the collective between the masculine and the feminine principles. And so there could be somebody here that has been so loving, so compassionate, so self-sacrificing that she has had enough of that type of an experience. Let's get the rest of the cards out and see what's going on here. The High Priestess. More Pisces energies. In 2 weeks time after this full moon, we are going to have a new moon in Pisces, and that is going to be the start of planting a new seed with the Page of Wands as the central energy. Then we get the Six of Coins in reversed. And so, yeah, there is a very heavy energy, I feel, connected to an imbalance here. So the Six of Pentacles in reverse is like, hey, I've poured in a lot of energy into a situation or a relationship or a job, or just giving yourself to all of these people without pouring back into and filling your own cup. And so there is an imbalance here. There is this energy of needing to pay off some karmic debt as well. And so we can share and give to the less fortunate, but we can't give to our detriment and become that martyr when it comes to self-sacrificing. With the High Priestess coming out, somebody here has a deep inkling, and they know, the High Priestess knows. And so there's some type of truth coming to light about a burden that needs to be released. And maybe you put all your eggs in one basket and you thought this was it. Maybe you've been working too hard to force something. Don't force anything in these energies. We get the Justice card in reversed, Libra energy. We get the Six of Swords in reversed, and then we get the Two of Wands. And so there is a major crossroads playing out. Somebody has an opportunity to close out a cycle. I do feel there's challenges about moving on. This is the energy of, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to fight for this. I'm going to do whatever it takes to hold on to something that I feel really you need to let go of, because I do feel a cycle of depression or mental illness here. I do feel there could be some mental illness here due to an imbalance within a cycle here. We do have a feminine energy coming through very strongly that is struggling from moving on from a very challenging situation. And so this is it. You have an opportunity. You can take those guided steps. You can move forward towards a new cycle, or you can stay stuck. I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't want to keep repeating the pains and the cycles of yesterday. And so there is an injustice here. There is an imbalance here, but it is not up to us to go after that justice. It is up to us to move on. And so maybe somebody is being asked to relocate and they are choosing to stay stuck, but there's a lack of peace here in a situation. And so why do you want to keep juggling? Somebody here, I feel, is walking a fine line, walking a tightrope, and maybe this decision needed to be made a couple of years ago. The universe is saying time is up. When you let go of that burden, you're going towards a golden opportunity for expansion, right? And so we did just close out the year of the dragon. There is a need to take action now. And so I do feel a lot of triggers coming forward connected to passionate love and hate. And then we get the Five of Swords, and we get the Five of Cups, and we get the Balance card or the Temperance card in reverse. And so there's so much resistance to this change. And so what does it mean to love yourself? I think somebody's held on to something far too long because they've wanted some type of commitment. And I think this is about committing to yourself. This is about committing to a beautiful new path. And we get to decide the emotional experience that we are here to create. And so love doesn't just come in romantic relationships. Love comes in deep friendships with people. It comes with a love for ourselves. And so I do feel an awakening is happening here. I do feel spiritual insights are being downloaded, and somebody is encouraged to leave a situation behind. Oftentimes we like to stay stuck because we don't want to admit, hey, I made a wrong choice. Somebody here took a leap of faith. And I do feel there's a better way. There is a broken relationship here where the party's over, and maybe you're afraid to part ways because it's going to maybe force you to leave behind a whole social network, a whole social group. I just feel somebody here is so focused on the negative and they can't see through the energy of seeing red. And so fives are all about changes. And so fives, the Five of Swords, there's manipulation, there's power struggles. There's also a need to recognize your own self-sabotaging behaviors, because we all play into that sometimes, right? Often at times, we can be our own worst enemy. There is a better way. When we stay stuck in the negative cycles, the negative thought processes, then we stay stuck in this very imbalanced energy. And so there's a need for moderation with the Temperance card in reverse. the bottom of the deck is really what we don't see below the surface. And so there is an amazing opportunity for a brand new beginning, but it's going to require drive and determination to take those guided action steps to move forward. We're not going back. We're going forward. And so there could be addictions here. We can oftentimes get addicted to people, right? Somebody here, I think, is trying to force some type of compromise, but there's no resolution in sight. And so I do feel by the next new moon, there is going to have to be a release to a situation that I feel just needs to end. And you need to finish this. The cycle might have started a couple of years ago, maybe even up to 6 years ago. Maybe you should have walked away 6 years ago. But I do feel if you are not placing yourself in a position of integrity, you will stand to really lose out on some amazing opportunities. And so we are here to stand up for injustices. We are here to stand up for what we believe in, but we are not here to bring others down in the process. And so I'd like to clarify this Queen. I'd like to clarify the Queen of Swords reverse, the Queen of Cups reverse, because there is a very strong energy of a feminine struggling. The Page of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the King of Cups in reverse. And so, yeah, there's two people here that I feel have fallen out of love with one another. Maybe at one point in time, this looked like a true pair, but I do feel a very karmic cycle needing to come to an end. And so there is going to be a very difficult conversation. We can use this energy and have those deep conversations and transform our lives for the better. I do feel somebody here has been spying, watching, digging in, trying to find and gather information, maybe about somebody that at one point in time was looked at as a counterpart situation. But I feel two people that have fallen out of love. There's a lack of trust. There's a lack of devotion. I don't think either of these people really trust one another at this point in time. And then we get this wounded healer. And so it's a conscious release. So I do feel get ready for that deep-seated wound to be triggered in the energies and to gain those insights. Be prepared. Somebody here is holding on and doesn't want to give up on a situation where I feel there is a massive separation. There's been this energy of water in a dead tree. It's time to plant that seed in greener pastures, okay? I do feel there might be a very healing conversation. Ask your angels for help. You know, oftentimes Taurus, the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, they don't like to give up. But sometimes walking away and giving up is the best thing we can do for ourselves. And so I do feel there was poor planning. I feel it's time to go towards a new cycle of healing. And I think there is going to be an argument here with no resolution in sight. And so this is about taking decisive action forward. I do think we've got a queen here lashing out. I do think there could be a lot of immature communication. I think we've got a queen here that's tried to gather information that she needs before she can move forward, and she's still finding it very challenging to walk away. And so there could be an argument here. There could be a sudden emotional outburst. There's going to be sudden unexpected changes, but it's going to lead towards planting a seed in a new direction. Whenever I pull this card, I think of the Katy Perry song, Dark Horse. And so something's coming at this queen like a dark horse. I feel there is karma here playing out, and karma can go both ways. But I do feel we've got a queen that at one point in time was probably very loyal, very dedicated, and now she's very apprehensive. But I do feel it's time. It's time to go in a new direction, and there is angelic protection here. So where are we going with this Two of Wands? Because the Two of Wands is the choice. The Three of Wands is taking action towards that choice. So there's a big choice to make here. What is it that you want to collaborate on? This Three of Coins is about somebody investing in themselves. I do feel the energy of judgment. It's almost like, hey, the angels are blowing that horn and it's time. It's time to go towards something new. It's time to master your craft. It's time to rebuild a reputation here. And we get the Queen of Wands. This is about taking back your fire. We all have the ability to shed the old and create a new world, but we do have to shed the old. And so magic can be alive if you choose to take those steps to maybe going towards what it is that you do love. Don't hold on to what you don't love. Go towards what you do love. And so there's nothing that we can't do if we put our minds to it and if we believe in ourselves. And so now we get another 5, 5, 5, 5. It's time to release fear-based energy. It's time to release these negative thought cycles, because they will keep being manifested into real life challenges if we don't overcome this. So I do feel at the core there is a deep-seated abandonment wound that needs to be worked through. And so believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. It's time to take action on behalf of yourself and to let go of a situation that I feel is a dead-end situation. It didn't go anywhere. It's time to invest in yourself. So that's what I've got for a message for the Leo full moon. I do hope this helped. I do hope this resonated. They're asking me to pull one more card. We're going to get an Akashic Truth card. What is the advice card? Look at that bottom of the deck. Let go. Let go. Why hold on to something that no longer serves you when you know at the core? Maybe let go of grudges. Forgiveness is huge, right? It's not saying to repress your emotions. Express your emotions. You can always try to aim towards compromise, but if there's no compromising between this situation, you have to learn to let go if it's not serving you any longer. It's best to just move on if there's a lack of misunderstanding. So I think the big message is the truth will set you free. So what is the closing message? Connections. How do you move forward toward your life's true calling? How do you do that? Well, you have to do what makes you happy. You have to find your enthusiasm to keep going, no matter what challenges you're facing. And you have to follow your instincts. And so somebody here I feel is being rerouted so they can discover their life's purpose. And that's what I got, guys. So I really hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to go further with me, do feel free to check out the links below. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thanks.